Liz, do you have a picture or do you have are you able to show us your amazing Christmas items? Let me see. Because last week I wanted you guys to see these. They're so good. Like literally beautiful presentations of boxes with crystals with really like sentimental items. She's like the crystal queen, sound healer, like amazing. No audio still. Next week, come to my house if I'm in the US. Welcome, everybody. So let me send Dr. Allison the direct link just because
Can
she's
you
so...
hear me?
Yes, hi.
Hi, everyone. I'm still in like a little bit of a post-storm scenery here. So when I turn off my camera, I'm just going to be multitasking. Trish, when you get a chance, or maybe, I don't know, during this call or another space, a really close good friend of mine is going through, uh, well, let's just say, what would you recommend that's not, because to me, AA is so 3D. So what is the 5D Healerverse that would really help someone stay alcohol free? If I know you might need some time to think about that. Um,
Text me about that because I think it just depends.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, just okay, awesome. Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah. Like it definitely depends, right? Um,
Well, this person's very 4D pushing 5D.
okay. So maybe did they already try a 12-step program?
The one AA meeting and it was a really positive experience. And after that, 40 days sober and then crashed hard and never got back in touch with me. Like I was like, okay, you're on your own, kiddo, keep flying. And
Literally.
then yeah. So like he's in a big relapse now.
Oh, if
Yeah.
you want, give them my number directly. Uh,
Okay.
because I think it's easier for me to like really speak to them directly if they're willing to. So that way I can kind of talk to them about my own experience because that's all we have, right? Is our own experience.
Yeah, so it'd be like a peer support approach.
Yeah, I can just tell them what I did and what worked for me, I guess. And then
And
yeah.
the alcohol is like a self-medication. It's not the core. The core issue is like, and you've heard this before. I think a lot of us in Healerverse are here because we don't feel like we belong here anymore because of the 3D, the Matrix. Like, how do I, somebody get me out of here,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's not suicidal, right? It's
Yep.
just a coping behavior that he has. Um,
It
so
depends.
yeah.
Oh, hold on. Hi, Dr. Allison. Okay, just book ticket and then it will come up, the link. Okay. I will. I'm gonna put you on speaker. Hold on,
Hi,
'cause
Dr. Tim.
on and it's recorded. Hold on.
I went and then it said that there are fees from
It would come up to the link though.
and there's no link, babe. I don't see it.
I'll
Can
text.
you just send me?
Yep.
Can you just send me a Zoom link?
Yes.
This looks like it.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Bye. Hello. Hi, Dr. T.
What's up, sister?
What's up? How are you?
I'm fantastic. How about you?
Good. It's good to see you.
Where's
I
your
miss
where's your people?
I missed
Uh,
you, Dr. T.
Good. Hey guys,
Hi, welcome.
how are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. I'm doing great.
Amazing. So happy you're here.
Me too.
And yeah, and I love what you do so much.
I
So
love
yeah, like just to give you a little background about who's on here right now. Obviously, we were deplatformed a week and a half ago from Facebook, Instagram, Threads, whatever. I got the Healerverse Facebook back and my Facebook back, and my Instagram was threatened twice, but I got them back. So we're still deplatformed from Instagram. But you said you might be able to get it back.
so weird.
I know. You're not allowed to talk about healing. Like even I posted on Facebook today the link for people to be able to come, and they actually took it down and they were like, this is against our community standards. So actually on like the fundraising, I put that as the problem statement.
Nice. Good.
Dr. T, we're going out hard.
Hardball,
well. Listen,
hardball.
It's
Listen,
relatable.
this is a big deal. This is the result of public-private partnerships. Now, that's a way of the government
Yeah.
pawning off their inability, their wanting to suppress the First Amendment and putting it on companies and saying, oh, well, they're a private company. They can do whatever they want, mostly because that's what we tell them to do. This is the result of public-private partnerships. That's no, it's a bunch of garbage. No, I mean, and no, if you want to test that theory out, which I've done, by the way, mention anything about the First Amendment on any social platform and see what happens to your post. It
Yeah.
won't even go. I tried it on LinkedIn. I've tried it on Facebook. No, and no, they won't even allow you to post it. First
Wow.
Amendment not allowed. Oddly enough, censored.
You know what's
Yeah,
really cool? Like,
censoring.
yeah, I know everybody on this call right now, and we're all like very similar thoughts and beliefs and values. Dr. Allison also will post stuff sometimes that I'm like, yeah.
I know. It's like, I mean, I always look to history and I'm like, the downfall of major civilizations are like destructive governments started censoring people. Like there's no oppressive society that wasn't censoring information on some level or trying to control the population. So I don't know, it's pretty self-evident. So I'm always, yeah. But yeah, I was thinking, do we need to do a healing on you on Instagram? It's really interesting how
Yes.
sometimes like our relationship and just different things will come out and it's like, why do certain things happen? And usually like there's like a energetic pattern also that's coming through as well. Or what I've learned, because I've always been fighting institutions, but I'm sure there's a greater purpose for that. But like, it's interesting. Should I start?
You just became my new best friend.
I knew you two would
Any-
get along.
Oh God. Listen, no, I'm just going to tell. I don't even care what you
Dr.
have to say. You've
Cindy.
already got me. I want you on my podcast. I
Oh,
need
yeah,
you on my podcast. So
Totally.
no,
Yay.
so listen, no, I don't want to take anything away from you. All I want to do is say, hey, are you on? No, are you on Healerverse? Are you?
Instagram.
I am. And yeah,
Okay,
I'm on
listen.
Healerverse, Instagram.
Mhm.
I'm gonna DM you on Healerverse. I'll share
Perfect.
information. I want you on my podcast, but I'm
Oh, I
already
would
in
love
love with
to.
you, sister.
Yeah,
Yay.
I'll put my cell here, guys, too, because like you
Perfect.
can just text me too. Because sometimes if I don't respond, it's not because I don't want to. It's because I always respond to texts. So
Yeah.
I'm here for everyone.
You're amazing. I love you. So Dr. Allison is in Miami, and like, you know, one of the things that was just coming through to me, and I love what you said about like maybe there's an energetic something or other, but I think too, it was like divine timing, right? Like everything happens for a reason. It reminded
Yeah.
me of the purpose of what I'm doing and like what I'm here to do, right?
So it's everybody knows it's 12/12.
It's 12/12. It's 1:12 here
Say.
in Eastern. So
Oh God, sorry.
yeah. But yeah, so like I just kind of was remembered of why I built it in the first place, right? So yeah. Anyway, Dr. Allison, do you want to like start by like telling us a little bit of your story, or what were you
Yeah.
thinking about?
What I was thinking is like whenever I'm on like the computer, I always have to have like my cords on my lap. So yeah, I was thinking about talking a little bit how I got into what I'm doing, and then after that, then let's do some of it, like go through a meditation and then just like scan the group and just see like any downloads or any, like I do a lot of energetic releases, especially around like just different things that we've been conditioned in all societies. So we can do that, and then we can do a Q&A. And then if we want to do like if anyone, I mean, I can do a demo on you, Trish, or if anyone wants a demo we could do that, because it's really yeah, it's amazing. So I'm Dr. Allison Snowden. Currently I am teaching and working full time. I have the highest certification in theta healing. However, I've been in healing my whole life. I was born into a very medical family, and there's purpose in that. So my dad's a physician, so I come from a family of physicians and nurses. But my journey in healing started with my older sister. She had childhood cancer. She's still alive. That's when I started to see the medical system, how like effed up it was, and how they treated patients, and then also how people just treated sick people. It was just really difficult to see how uncompassionate people are. And then I had, when in 1999, I was attacked, assaulted, and then almost run over, or I was run over by a motor vehicle that they said was probably going about 60 miles per hour. And I had a near-death experience. They declared me dead. They arrested a guy for killing me. This is in Mexico. And I had an out-of-body experience. I had a near-death experience, which was insanely beautiful, insanely just like the absolute, basically it was just God is love, love is God. You are one with God, and we all are reflections of each other. And just all of this stuff opened up for me. And I came back, and as I was going down, and it goes really, really fast, right? When you like are like, hey, I'm going back, it's like faster than light, you're back into the body. And as I was going down, like the divine, my higher self, all of it was like, bring this energy into earth. And I was like, what? Like, bring this like love, unconditional love to earth. And I was like, can I get like a how-to book or something on that? Right? Like, what the F are you like? What? I mean, I was like in my hospital bed. I'm like, breathe this down to earth. What the? Like, that is so freaking esoteric. Well, then God was like, actually, like, no, it's not like, and I was like, can I go back? This is really painful. Like I broke my whole left side, my jaw, my humerus, most of my ribs. My pelvis was broken in 4 different places. My left leg, I lost 2 inches of bone on the street. So I had a double compound fracture. I ruptured my tibial artery. So I was really messed up. And I was like, can I go back? And God's like, nope. And I was like, fuck, man, like, And they're like, oh, by the way, you're gonna be in hell for like 10 years. So just hold on and pace yourself. I was like, wow. So anyway, I started my recovery. I somehow got out of the medical system, because you know how they love to sedate and medicate people. So I went and got my massage therapy license, got my undergrad in psych and biology. And I almost, then I was like at a crossroads. So I got my master's and my PhD in Chinese medicine and integrative medicine, and have always seen a connection between emotional trauma, also mindset, and physical diseases. And so I always trained in that and trained in functional medicine. And I was doing okay. And then then I'm always praying to have God like steer me, because I know that I know what I want to do, but like, please guide me, God. Well, I got a septic, and I started doing theta healing because my PTSD and anxiety was going, and none of my tools were working, and I really felt upset. And then I was just like, this is insane. I'm like living in this. And I got directed to theta healing. I have no idea how I found a class, but I didn't even think about it. I was like joined. I went there and I was like, oh my God, this is like being like dead, but like alive in my body. And so I just was hooked, and I was like, God was like, this is what you need to do. You need to teach this to the masses. And I was like, yeah, but like, I just had this job in integrative medicine. I'm scared to leave it. Well, I ended up getting a septic infection. And so I ended up being bedridden. So I couldn't do acupuncture. And that's when I started my online practice. And that was like 5 or 6 years ago. I completely healed my knee that was septic and the cartilage. They wanted to do a knee replacement right away. I healed that. I can pretty much run, do whatever I want. I have no pain, super happy. Theta healing was the only thing that actually healed my overwhelm, which I call the unsafety wound. So when you've had physical or violence, your body always remembers it. And like, it's kind of like uh-oh. Sorry, it's my best friend. So I love what I do, theta healing. So I work with some men. I think men need healing too. Maybe they're just not as forward as women, but I work with humans who a lot of people who've had trauma also are very psychic and a lot of people who are spiritual seekers and higher vibrational people. Sometimes you guys choose a harder path, so it's a quicker path. And just to also sometimes move through and also be a change of the DNA, so I was very specific on the family line I went through. And of course, when my ego wanted to complain about something in my family system, my soul would be like, yeah, you chose them for all of these different reasons, like you chose it, and I'm like, owning my shit. Right? Like, why, so it's like, I have this lived experience that like, we are this cosmic white light and we're just this amazing energy. And so it's very weird integrating back into society because like everyone judges you by this, human meat suit, and it has nothing to do with who you are. And also your consciousness is then funneled into your nervous system. And we're on this planet in the physical to really master ourselves and also to shift consciousness and also bringing heaven on earth this incarnation and like spreading it quickly so we can, like guys, like this is sometimes hell for people. I was in hell in my body, in a traumatized body. A lot of people are suffering, and this system works really well. And I always tell anyone, I was like, no one has been a hotter, like emotional wreck, physically. I've learned how to walk 6 times, over 15 orthopedic surgeries. People were like, you'll never be pain-free. I don't know why you don't have any brain injuries because my bones were just pummeled. They were crushed. So it was, I feel like I definitely had guardian angels probably holding my head because everyone was like, I've never seen a person that's alive with this amount of like blunt force to their bones and their bones being so broken. So I really do feel like my gift, I'm very, very mediocre at most things, but my gift is really teaching people how to heal themselves, remembering that they are divine. And then all of this conditioning, you guys, from culture, from your DNA, the trauma that's in there, past lives, and your soul came here to learn and expand. And guys, like what I hate about the spiritual culture here is it's so annoying. It's so victim blamey and so materialistic. I'm like, your soul doesn't give a shit about a Ferrari. I mean, okay, you can manifest it, but like your soul came here to expand, to master yourself, to master the elements of nature, and to remember who you are, your divine purpose, and live that out. So when you do physically die, because we all will, and guys, FYI, it's so much fun and it doesn't hurt. Birth is actually extremely traumatic for an old soul. I remember like, so guys, death is great. There's no pain. I had a very violent death. It was and I didn't feel anything. So that's also, I think, part of the message, because a lot of people have a fear about the unknown and fear of death and fear of pain. It's no big deal. It isn't. It is a big deal, but it's not. So pain, there's a lot of darkness on this planet, but guys, remember, we are born into contrast. So like a lot of times we experience what we don't want, so we can experience what we are born to integrate. I also think one of my gifts is that because I've had such an extensive recovery, I can really psychically scan someone and really see where the hell they are stuck and why. And especially for people with chronic pain, trauma survivors, a lot of women trauma survivors, because they are disconnected from their body, develop pain and chronic diseases, and they're never going to find a cure for it, because it's an environmental and it's a soul and it's emotional wound that's manifesting in the physical. And current medicine is trying to treat it from a physical standpoint, but that's not the cause. It's an emotional soul thing. And so you have to find the root. And guys, let me tell you, even physical issues, like I had a literal septic infection in my knee. It ate away my bone. My knee had bone on bone. So that's a physical injury. Guess what? Guess how I healed it? All emotional stuff. So guys, we're vibrational, energetic beings. And when something comes into the physical, that's the last endpoint of manifestation. So your dreams and also your wounds, the darkness and the light. And I really think we're in a time where we're opening our hearts, and intellectualism, intellectual arrogance, and intellectual solutions to emotional, heart-centered issues, humanity issues, are not going to be found by like a drug. It's going to be a healing of the soul and the heart and reconnecting to the body. And it's internal, but we really need to teach people how to do this. And I really wish I would have found this like 10 years before, because I probably would have had 10 years less of suffering. But I think that's really what drives me, because man, I was always a very spirited girl that like wanted to heal, and was just, you know, our body and how our neurobiology is situated, it remembers pain, and it's an evolutionary thing. And because like, I don't know, 100, 200 years ago, guys, like there is, you know, modern world and technology and life has changed in such a way, what used to be such threats aren't threats. So now we're overstimulated, chronically stressed. We think the email is going to kill us and jump at us, like, so every, a lot of people, guys, and trauma is common. That's the other thing. And, every person is unique, but there are some horrific things that happen on this planet. There's some horrific people, but I think the opposite is also true. And also, like, love is the highest power, love and truth and purity and intention and being aligned with divine. Like, there is no other power. It's all smoke and mirrors, It's like, thinking that I don't know. I always was like, I was talking about like the monster under your closet. It's not there. It's just your perception that there is something that fear. So with theta healing, I teach classes. So to healers, but then also to regular people, because I really don't think it is almost a necessity at this point for your mental and physical health to know how to reprogram and heal your subconscious brain, to really be in touch with your divine self, and for us to really be self-led and self-masters. And we're really like moving away from this expert, patient dynamic, and outsourcing our power to everyone, and like really returning back to our intuitive power, our heart power. And that all starts with your healing. And I also think when you heal emotionally, it takes a lot of life force and effort to repress and to hold on to stress and to be constantly stressed. So it's also I think it's very anti-aging. I think I took picture, like, I've been doing theta healing for 6 years. You could see the misery and the sadness on my face. And I'm not ashamed of that. Like, I feel like I own all the different dark, they all taught me something. But I think a lot of people are suffering and they're so disconnected that they don't even know it. And we're in a world, guys, right now, and Creator told me when I was up there that this is a huge time of shifts on our planet. So have fun and, you know, lock it in. And I really do think something, I don't know, I really do believe opening the awakening of the individual human heart and returning of power is literally the change that is gonna shift consciousness and shift everything. There is no external peace without us first going inward, owning it, healing it, clearing it. Because when we do the inner work, we show up differently in the world and we're not scared, you know? We're not scared. We're not controlled by the past trauma, by fear, you know, like, you know, guys, fear mongering and fear manipulation has been used by all oppressors. They just change the formula. It's like a dictator's handbook. Like, seriously, they're not creative. So how do we heal this? Well, you conquer fear and you get more in touch with your heart and in your soul, because your soul is so badass. Your soul is so powerful, so fucking powerful. And guys, they're not teaching you. I love the biohacking thing, but I'm like, I've gone to biohacking things and I'm like, no one's teaching you how to biohack your consciousness. And guess what? Like, I'm sorry, everything in this universe, including your beautiful meat suit, is temporary and it is not you. So we really, really need to reconnect to our souls and our hearts, because and live from that place, because all of this is it is slightly a collective illusion and a collective shared reality that we're all creating. So with theta healing, there's a theta healing curriculum. So there's a lot of classes. I've done all of them. I'm a teacher for all of them but one, and I'm gonna do that next summer. And yeah, like I had a lot of violence and then secondary trauma, so I needed to be in a lot of healing classes. So when you guys heal emotionally, your intuition automatically lights up. You look healthier, happier. Guys, physical things just go away. Guys, every physical thing, I've been in integrative medicine for 20 years. Yeah. So I've worked with cancer patients, pain patients, like I've been in it. Yeah, like you can heal anything. Yeah. I mean, I actually have fun just proving doctors wrong. You know, because like, you know, I have to sometimes be a little hush hush about it. You know, because there's some legal ramifications, but I'm pretty protected. But yeah, like, you know, bringing people off of hospice, you know, cancer, you know, PTSD trauma, people who've, you know, been abused. So anything, guys, your body is a reflection of your consciousness and it's trying to communicate. We are just so disconnected because of the trauma of being human and all of the trauma that's been passed down through generations and oppression, guys. I mean, damn, like my grandma couldn't have bought a house. Like that was just 2 generations. That's like just even the oppression of women. It is so there, you know. But it's like everyone is, you know, there's a huge part of humanity that's acting like everything's okay and they're in denial. So there's a lot, what happens like inside us, like happens on a massive level, right? So I think this is a great time to be alive. You know, I didn't know about incarnation, past reincarnation, because I grew up Catholic before the internet was really big. And after my NDE, I like saw a lot of past lives. And So I'm excited because we're in America and we're kind of free, but somewhat free. And I think in America, you know, we've gotten a lot of freedom, but we're still fighting for a mental, spiritual, and also like that mental freedom of being indoctrinated in certain ways, and also people manipulating us. So it's just, I always say to my students, I was like, waking up is sometimes not fun, but it is fun on the other side. So theta healing is a way, if you want to feel like to have a near-death experience without all the trauma shit and being in the hospital and being traumatized and dealing with that, doing the theta healing is the easier, gentler, more fun way. And I really think we should be more proactive about awakening. Yeah, I mean, I can wake up by dying and being like almost murdered by people, but like, wouldn't it be great if, you know, more this was just taught in school, like how to heal your body, how to talk to your body, how to talk to your higher self? Like, wow. So that's kind of like my plan. I want to really train a lot of people and reach a lot of people, and train really good healers and just really grow this. And Viana, the person who created theta healing, we kind of have she didn't have a near-death experience, but she had a lot of chronic illness. So she was a wounded healer and also an intuitive and psychic. And she just has created, she actually started in 99 too. So when I had my NDE, which is interesting. So she started to put out theta healing then, and they've developed it and shifted the curriculum, and it's beautiful. And I get to witness miracles every day in small ways and in big ways. And it's super amazing. And there's a lot of amazing people on this planet. A lot of people are just traumatized and by each other. And so I'm just excited to share this with you.
Dr.
What
Lisa, I'm
we're
gonna interrupt you for 2 seconds just to tell you that the chat has been going wild.
Oh, let me see.
With
Kind of free, right? Free, but not really there, right? We are in a spiritual, yeah,
Oh,
we are.
yeah.
The meat suit, it is though, you know, but I mean, I get it. Like, and you know, I went through my own, you know, reintegration, you know, like, but here's the thing is like we've been, everything that's upside down is downside up in this world. So everyone pays attention to the physical, but really your energetic is so powerful. It can heal the physical. It can create miracles. And so what do we have? We've been programmed, like your program, like the TV programming in your brain. This is how, oh, do you guys know how many times doctors told me you're going to have arthritis? I'm like, no, I'm not. And it's been it'll almost be 26 years. If I would have had arthritis, it would have been at least right now, don't you think? Like, I'm never going to have arthritis, like, because I know how to work with pain, and pain is a signal for more healing. Hey, pay attention. So you guys can heal physical issues through energetic and soul and belief work in theta healing, we call it. But if your emotional body and your body is programmed on a subconscious level that you can't heal, that it's not safe to be powerful, because a powerful person when you were little hurt people. So you're already self-sabotaging. And so you're like, I want to be this, but then there's this unconscious thing that keeps on bringing your health down, your confidence down. That's an incongruence to your conscious desires, to your subconscious program. So it's
gonna do a juicer next.
A juicer?
More like in 2 hours. I would eat.
Oh wait, what? Oh wait. So what I think we're gonna do is with your guys' permission, I ask a lot of permission in theta healing, just so you know, to set up the container that this is a co-creative process. And if you don't want any of the downloads or the healings, just don't say yes. But if you want it, you have to say yes out loud and just mute yourself. And so what I'm going to do is we're going to take you to the 7th plane. So in theta healing, we work from the 7th plane, and the 7th plane is where I went in my NDE. Some other people don't go to, they go to the 5th plane. But the 7th plane is pure energy. It's pure love. It is pure creation. It's beyond time and space. It's not a physical reality. It's an energetic reality. And it is one of the most powerful places. So we're going to go there, and then I'm going to do a scan, and then I'm going to just probably do some downloads and release you guys from some cultural programs. How does that sound? Sounds good? Okay.
Yes.
So, do I have permission? Do I have permission? I know, I love it. If you guys ever see me in a grocery store and I have my eyes closed, I'm healing myself in the grocery store. I was like laughing at that. So do I have permission to enter in your guys' sacred space?
Yes.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so do I have permission? So we're going to just have creator, just fill everyone in this class, and also anyone who's listening to this in the recording with unconditional love. So just witnessing all of your physical cells just be infused with this white light, remembering who you are and sending this white light through all DNA backwards and forward in time, and then filling the space around your or your physical body. Can I fill that also up with white light? So just filling you all up with white light in your aura. And can I clear your auric field, releasing anybody's emotions, projections, or also like, can I release you guys from the collective fear, like programming as well? So we're gonna have creator of all that is, release all of these beautiful souls, release them from any fear, indoctrination, any hooks, cords, also releasing anybody's unprocessed pain, either consciously, unconsciously, that you've taken up, or like taken it in your aura or in your cells of your body. We're gonna release that up to the light. Also releasing any waywards, fallens, any energetic thought forms that are heavy or dense, releasing anybody's projected hatred or violence, and also witnessing an instant shift and release of your cells of any holding on of any violence or fear that was taken, you know, from the outside, or any inner violence, because that sometimes happens when we've been traumatized. So just releasing any shock and trauma from physical, mental, emotional, or any financial trauma, sexual trauma. I'm just going to witness any of those like energetic cords be released, sending it up to the light. Can I also download what it feels like that it is safe for you guys to heal, and you have creator's highest definition of safety? So emotional safety, physical safety, financial safety, safety with other humans, and that you have discernment, and it's safe for you to feel safe in your heart, in your body, as your soul. So I want you guys to just put your hand on your heart. And I want you to just do this kind of inner scan. So this is called, I call this inner time, like me time. And so I want you to feel like from your physical skin inward. So just with a loving, non-judgmental, curious attitude, just go and sense like how does your head feel? Is it heavy? Is it light? Is there any sensations or discomfort on your head, on your shoulders, or inside? And just going and asking your heart, hey heart, how are you? Just attune, see what you, or just feel into your heart. Maybe there's a mix of emotions. Maybe there's joy, and all of it's perfectly beautiful. And then going to your shoulders, your arms, and then feeling just this energy and just this, your introspection going through your belly, all of your organs, feeling your lower belly, your intestines, and then feeling your pelvis. How does that feel? Is there, a lot of people have, you know, low back pain or hip pain. So just sensing, and if you notice something, some pain, I want you to send some love to that. Your body loves you so much. It's working nonstop, 24 hours to try to allow you to have this human experience. Your human body loves you so much. And so many of us are so mean to our body. We're judgmental. So we're just going to say sorry and forgive ourselves for that, and just sending love to our body, thanking our body for all it does. Your human body is such an amazing vessel. Thank you. And just feeling, then going down your upper thigh bones. These are called your femur. So it's the longest bone in your body, and just sensing being around that bone, and then going into one of my favorite parts, your knees. This is, a lot of people have knee pain because they're scared to move forward. So just feeling your knees, and also feeling this excitement of going forward, that great new things await you. And then going down your lower legs, and then going down to your feet, and just feeling your feet. Feeling your big toe. And then I want you guys to send your energy all the way down into Mother Earth, not just, at the top level. I want you to go deep down. So in the center core of Mother Earth, and lock into Mother Earth and that divine feminine, powerful energy. Whew, she is powerful, that ocean, those trees, all of the medicine and beauty that is on this plane. Wow. And I want you guys to feel her energy coming up your legs, and seeing it activate your root, your sacral, your third chakra, releasing anything that is ready to be released. And we're going to go up to our heart, and we're going to take 3 deep breaths. So take a deep breath in through your nose, and then you're going to do an even longer exhale. This activates your parasympathetic, your rest digest system. So another one, each one a little bit longer. So inhaling, and then exhaling through your mouth, just letting whatever is going on in your life, the past, the future, just being here now with your breath, with me. Another deep breath, and then exhaling. And then the last one, the deepest inhale, and we're going to inhale and hold at the top for as long as you can. And then exhale, exhaling all the way out, holding as long as you can, and then returning back to your breath. This is really helping your nervous system heal. So inhaling, hold, and then until you can hold, if you're still holding, you can continue, but then exhale all the way out, and pulling in your belly button, emptying all your lungs out, and hold. And then returning back to your breath. And I want you to then just note how you feel. Just with that little inner check-in, that little inner love to yourself. Like, do you feel any lighter? Did some pain go away? Do you feel more? I get whenever I do any breath work or tune inward, I get like vibrations in, and light starts to come, like emanate, and I feel all these colors. And just noting like your experience, because your experience is your experience, and it is so valuable, and you matter. There you go. So now we're going to go up. We're going to open up our heart chakra, just seeing and just looking at your beautiful heart. Thank you so much for your love. And then going up through your throat, releasing any self-censoring or censoring that has happened through generations and through governments. By going to your third eye, opening up your third eye, reclaiming your intuitive, psychic capabilities, that there is something that you can see that's beyond the human eye. Then opening up your crown chakra. This is where you get divine inspiration, divine guidance, and creating a ball of white light. And we're going to go put your energetic self. So that part that's in your heart, that light in your heart, that's the true self. Let's go in this ball of white light. We're going to go up to the 7th plane. So we're going to go up as fast as light through creator, or through the atmosphere. So now we're in the galaxy, going higher and higher, getting lighter and lighter, going through these golden, these white lights, these dark lights, continuing to go higher and higher, then going through this jelly-like substance. These are all the laws that govern the lower planes. We're going to go past that, and we're going to go through the law of compassion, remembering, guys, love and compassion bend every law. And so let's fill up on compassion for ourselves. It's hard to give something that we can't give for ourselves in an authentic way. So filling yourself, like taking more than you need, because like we love compassion. And then looking above you and seeing this white, tingly white light, and it's like snow glistening in the skin. This is the 7th plane. Go higher and higher, and soon it's all around you, and you intentionally step in and you say, creator of all that is, I'm on the 7th plane of creation, of unconditional love. This is I am connected to everything in creation, through creator of all that is. Thank you. And feeling this white pearlescent light now coming down through your physical body. This is a vibration. And when this becomes the main vibration of your body, instant healing happens, because there is no time on this dimension. It is all happening all at once. And there's instant miracles because everything is just turned into perfection. There you go. And so can I just do a group scan and see like what you guys need and what your bodies, your hearts, your souls need? So creator of all that is, it's commanded to give me a group scan about for this amazing group and showing me what downloads would be helpful, and also anything else that I can pull them from. All right. Okay, so I'm just going to channel some things, and if you would like it, just say yes. No worries if you don't. And I also encourage you guys, if it doesn't feel good, say no. Like your no is powerful. Maybe we need to start with that. Can I download what it feels like, that it's safe to say no and it's safe to say yes, and that you know what your true yes and no feels like from a soul deep level, and you know how to listen to your heart and soul, and that you're allowed to, and it's safe to in this life. If you'd like that, and creator's highest definition of all of that, and it replace your
Yes.
definition. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So, and then, would you guys like to know what it feels like? I feel like there's like, some of you guys, it's like, some of you guys were warriors in past lives. That's pretty cool. So do I have permission can I download creator's highest definition that love is actually the only power? I know being in this kind of 3D third plane thing is kind of like, can kind of maybe feel like it's not, but that is a high spiritual truth. So can I download that? You know what that feels like? That the true power is love and alignment within yourself, and alignment with the divine and the creation of all that is. And that you know that that is now your definition of power, and it's safe for you to be powerful. If you'd like that, just say yes to receive. Oof. And can I send a healing to all of you in this life, or also generational trauma and past life trauma? Anytime you experience violence, hatred, abandonment, neglect, and can I validate that did happen, and it does matter, and creator saw it, even if you didn't get justice, or that other people didn't even believe you. I'm going to download that you guys know how to validate yourself within yourself, and that the divine validates you. And I'm going to download, if you would like me to, that your body knows how to let go of pain, mental, emotional, physical, intellectual pain, heart pain, from groups of people. And you know how to send that up to the light and take the wisdom from any and all experiences, free of holding on and like collecting the pain and like making yourself tired, sick, or in pain. Can I release you from any oaths, obligations, of suffering, of martyring yourself? There you go. Releasing that on all levels, lifetimes backwards and forward, time, space, dimension. And also I'm seeing some of your guys' inner children. Guys, when we're children, our brains are not developed enough. So a lot of our programming comes from a very primal space where, you know, our parents were our gods. They were our source of survival. So if our parents mistreated us in any way, we would start to hate ourselves. You know, neglected, abandoned children don't hate others, they hate themselves. And this is because evolutionarily it was better for that to happen than the kid to run off. So there are a lot of deep relationship trauma in our culture. So I'm just going to validate that. And also, can I download to your inner child that your inner child is so loved and amazing, and delete that there's something wrong, or like and releasing any unworthiness from your heart that you internalize from your parents. So releasing that you know how to love yourself, and you know how to let go and transmute generational trauma and violence, free of holding on and hurting yourself. There you go. And would you guys like to know what it feels like that healing is easy? You know, I mean, healing's hard when you try to do it the hard way. Just FYI, it's nothing to do with you. So we're going to have creator release. Oh, would you guys like to be released from like indoctrination of like limits from the medical system, or just like, you know, intellectuals or experts on what's possible and what's not? I'm so tired of that. So if you guys would like that, I'll just witness a release of, you know, that other people know better, and releasing you from any dogma that doesn't serve your highest and best soul mission, health, wealth, and relationships, releasing that on any levels, and resetting your root chakra that it's safe. Some of you guys are very spiritual, high vibrational beings, and you're like, why the hell am I here? Like, it's painful sometimes down here. Like, some people are just really mean, and it's very shocking for some of you very spiritual, high vibrational beings. You're like, you just don't get it. And that can be very sad for us to witness. So can I witness you guys releasing other people's pain and suffering as a means? Like, can I release that oath obligation to like take on other people's pain so other people can find healing? So releasing any of that, and a lot of your guys' brains got a lot clearer. Ooh, clarity feels good. And can I release any confusion in your brain because of unprocessed trauma, or because you were psychic and no one taught you how to really control it and use it for your highest and best? So releasing any time you were confused because you were psychic and no one taught you. Releasing confusions, waywards, fallens, and then also any free-floating memories. Anytime you guys were under anesthesia and you absorbed the thoughts of others around you, or you were on drugs, alcohol, or just incapacitated, we're going to release any free-floating memories or anybody else's energy that seeped in your auric field when you were compromised. We're going to release that on all levels, lifetimes, also through the genetic code. There you go. Oh, darn, this hour went by way too fast. And then with your guys' permission, can I download what it feels like that healing can be easy, it can be instant, and that like you are a miracle, and like that, like your heart and your love like is the landing space and the portal for miracles and for discovery, and that you are so worthy of that. And can I witness that all being downloaded and integrated, and opening and integrating all of your guys' chakras, anchoring in all of these transmissions, these downloads, these healings, integrating this free of like any struggle, releasing that you have to get hurt or sick in order to upgrade. We're going to release that you can upgrade and heal through health, wealth, healing, and love in all areas of your life. There you go. And just integrating you, aligning all levels. Thank you, beautiful souls, remembering who you are. And I want to teach you guys this because we've been connected, but like, this is one thing I teach my clients and students is like energetically disconnecting. So it's like rubbing your hands together and just kind of cutting just like the cords. And then I put one hand up to the sky, one hand up to the ground, and I see all of like a shower of white light coming through and filling up in this sovereign bubble, you know, and that can I download that you guys know how to be connected, deeply connected to yourself, free of energetically enmeshing with others, that you can keep your sovereignty and connect with others, and that you know how to, it's safe to, and you have that energetic frequency in your body and in your spirit, and just resetting all chakras and all layers of your etheric field and your aura to reflect the changes, resetting your brain and resetting your limbic system, amygdala, turning on your prefrontal cortex. There you go. Releasing any excess fear from your amygdala and your kidneys. Bye-bye. There you go. It is done. It is done. It is done. Thank you. Okay. So Trish, I have, I know we're supposed to stop at 2, but I moved like my dentist appointment to next week. So I have time. I don't know about you.
Yeah, thank you so much. If anybody wants to stay on, I'm happy to stay on too. Yeah. Yeah. And that felt really good.
Yeah.
It's just so nice because like I do the same thing on myself, but when somebody does it with me, for me, it's so nice to receive. Thank you.
Oh yeah. So with theta healing, so those were just some things that we do in theta healing is we muscle test to see your subconscious, unconscious reality. So the body, guys, is the subconscious mind. So if you have any physical issues, you have some programming that if you clear it, your body will mirror a healing. So you just have to find, and that's, I train healers, but then also everyone I think has a right to self-heal. Like healing yourself should not be gatekept. And it actually is really easy and fun. You know, it's really so much fun. So there's, we use usually sway testing to test the emotional reality. So what that means is in theta healing, guys, there's 4 levels. So a lot of subconscious, it's just 1 level, but in theta healing, we have a soul level. Because guess what, guys? Sometimes we forget, but we incarnated not for the easiest life. We incarnated for our soul purpose and also for our soul to grow virtues. And unfortunately, sometimes we grow virtues through challenges. So I like to challenge that, like, you know, very superficial, spiritual, bypassing spiritual intuition, bullshit, watered down that we see on the internet. Because guess what, guys? I mean, I like houses, I like trips, and they're on my manifestation list. But guess what? The only thing that really matters is you doing what is true to you in this life, in your soul. And you're the only one, you and creator are the only ones who could really tap into that. And it is so much better to live in your authenticity than, you know, like, I feel like most Americans are, you know, conditioned to go after, like, you know, soothing their ego, which never it never is satisfied, right? So in the classes, like there's the basic, advanced, dig deeper, you and the creator, those are foundations. So I call that like the basic. And then we go into intuitive anatomy where I call that, and Trish, you have to come to one of my intuitive anatomy classes. It's like you go to like an internal spa. Like people look different because you guys, all of these programs, all of this unprocessed trauma, when you release it, it's like, you're so excited. So we do that. There's, I think like 16 classes I teach, manifesting in abundance, world relations, Trish. That's another one. I think you can take that after Dig Deeper. Literally, we take 5 days where I think this is the solution to racism, sexism, to every ism, because guys, your body remembers who has hurt you. And that's an evolutionary thing. But like now where our planet is, we're not like warring. Well, maybe we still are. Maybe some people are trying to keep us in that consciousness. But like for example, like the body I incarnated into has like heritage of German, English, Russian, and some like Slovakian. And I don't know, but like, yes, those yeah, they fought, they killed each other, you know? And so like I had hatred for myself because I had hatred towards the Catholic Church. I had hatred towards Germans, English, but that was me. So that class, it's just all like releasing generational trauma and past life trauma through and releasing it from the labels and the memories. It's super cool. Trish, with that class, one of my healers, who's a professional healer, she was like, should I take it? And I was like, girl, it's like weirdly transformative. I know maybe you're not. And she's like, okay. Well, she was from Colombia, so she was Latin, and then she worked at a very multicultural school in New York City, so many different people in power positions. And she was like, the weirdest thing, Allison, after that class, all of these weird interpersonal relationships, you know, with people with different races, like dissolved. She was like, I don't get it. But I was like, but it makes sense, right? Like, guys, like trauma just doesn't like disappear. Like it is encoded and our brain understands, you know? So I had to do a lot of like release work so my nervous system wouldn't just jump when I saw someone, because my trauma happened in Mexico. So your human body is evolutionary programmed to remember who caused them pain and to run from it or fight them or have hatred or, you know. So we're really, I think, doing an upgrade through all this emotional work so you can be your soul self. Because guys, it's hard to like be your energetic soul in a body that's traumatized, because you're like, I'm in love, and then you're like, I fucking hate you, you know? Like that's my amygdala, because like, you know, like you know, if someone tries to hit you, you go into fight or flight. So it's really not that personal, it's your nervous system, but people get very passionate about their pain. But here in my classrooms, we hold space for what happens. We acknowledge all that has happened, because acceptance, you have to have acceptance and you have to acknowledge the truth. And then you can heal it and upgrade and release it. So, do you guys have any questions or?
Oh, I'm dying to talk here. I'm just like, listen, you are my second self. It's like me on there, much better looking, with lipstick on,
That's
talking.
awesome. We're
Yeah,
probably
oh my.
we're probably from the same soul family, guys, you know?
Oh, unquestionably. Listen, are you what kind of a physician are you? No.
So I have my doctorate and my PhD in Chinese medicine and integrative medicine, but I come from a families of MDs, and people are like, oh, like I was like, it's so funny because like they think I'm a fake doctor, which is kind of cute, but
You think the same thing.
I know, right? I'm like, well, we think you guys are fake doctors, so no. I had to do so much healing from the medical system because, man, they some of them are amazing, but some of them are just, you know, very ignorant. God bless them. I love them. I really, Trish, like I want to be like, I have on my vision board, I don't know when Creator told me, I don't know when it's going to happen, but I was like, I'm not going to hold my breath, but I like in my vision board, I'm like teaching like doctors, like all of this. I already have a couple surgeons that come to me one-on-one. So
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that, because yeah, like it's so important to, obviously surgery is necessary still, like in my
oh
belief.
yeah, me, I
But
had
it's
it
like,
many times.
yeah, but for them to be able to implement other modalities as they're doing surgery, and also to clean themselves, like, oh my gosh, like the stuff that they're engaging
Absorbing.
on a daily
Oh,
basis. Yeah.
No,
Please remember, Please remember these people that genuinely in their heart, they know and understand that what you're doing and saying is right and absolutely correct, Allison. And I couldn't agree anymore. But remember, if these people speak up in that system, they will be punished.
Oh, I know.
I know, I was, and they didn't just punish me; they took money from me,
Oh, I
a
bet.
lot of money from me.
It's ruthless.
Oh, it is
It is.
beyond ruthless.
It is
is just downright
ruthless.
from the
They
pit
don't
of
care.
hell.
It's gotten worse now because like my dad's been in medicine. I mean, but I have a couple of surgeons and it's just like, they're just little pegs in the wheel and they're like, fine, we'll fire you. And it's so dehumanizing also for the doctors, the patients, like, and the nurses and the staff. And like a lot of the hospitals are not run by doctors or
None
people.
of them are run by doctors. And
No.
and I will tell you, if you don't go along with killing people for money, you will
Yeah.
be punished.
Yeah.
You will be punished. I was required to do things that that endangered people's lives, and I said, "The hell with that!" And I sent a clean license back to the state of Texas. I said, "The hell with you," and I will spend the rest of my life. I am responsible for the things that I do in this life,
Yep.
and I have to answer for it. And I will walk barefoot through hell before I go kill people for your money. Not
Yep.
gonna happen. Just
Yep.
not gonna happen. And when I challenged these people, and I challenged them in court
Oh,
and
I
said,
love
"No,
it.
what you're doing." Yeah, guess what happened? I got my fucking clock cleaned, and
Oh,
they
I
took
bet.
my retirement from me.
I
And I'm
bet they
like,
did.
"All right, well, thanks, but no, you gave me a story, and now we've got a public record of it. Now you don't get to bitch
Yep.
when we
Yeah,
hang
like
that public record up."
that's the thing is like when you take the fear and you're like, hey, like so many people are like, you know, fear is a magnificent, ruthless teacher. And it will pull out all of your whatever to do it. And that's kind of where we're at. But you always have to remember, like it is real. There are consequences and like sending so much love because that's they're weaponizing control and power over you, trying to make you suffer to comply, which is what all oppressive non-light regimes do. And it is awful. They're doing it to doctors. I say that I survived my first survival was, surviving like the violence that happened to me in Mexico. The second survival was, I survived the medical system because they try to get you addicted. I was taking Vioxx, and I stopped taking Vioxx because I was like, my heart hurts. My mom's like, oh, the FDA approved it. I go, my heart feels like it's like turning in my chest. It was later pulled for causing heart attacks. And I was like, no expert, no anyone outside of me can tell me what's good for me. And no one outside of me can tell me what is good and not good for my body. And all of us are different. And like literally we've been indoctrinated to put our blind trust in authority. And then even with the medical education, blind trust in the authority, like they can't even challenge that. Like you can't challenge it. Well, I mean, it's coming down, I'm sure.
So similar to what Dr. Tim was talking about, I worked with I'm a licensed psychotherapist, social worker, and I work with psychologists. So I had psychologists, psychiatrists as my colleagues for 25 years, and I have to I'm out of that system now. Been out for a year, and looking back, I feel like I was an accomplice to a lot of mind fuckery. So much so that I'm still mind fucked. And my question is, how do I unfuck myself from all this witchcraft that
Yeah.
we're pitching?
Yeah, it's really, I mean, I was medicated. I was medicated, I lost like a year of my life because they medicated me so much. Like I was just sleeping. And because like I had such bad nightmares and I was like, you know what, like this is not a way to live. yeah, like, and it's, I had, I think it's hard. Because I think anyone who goes into healing, you don't go into healing like in psychology or into medicine, because you're like, about the money. I mean, maybe it is, but like everyone, that's why I love healers, and anyone who has that calling, because that's always been in my heart. And it's like the system is so fucked up, and then the system traumatizes the providers and the patients. And then there's guilt and shame and anger on all levels. And then it's just this, then there's no challenging. Then it's like, I'm the expert, and these type of things. And then there's the DSM, which,
Yeah. The
it's
word
like,
burnout, the word burnout among ourselves was the biggest taboo. It's like you're not allowed to say you're burned out. You're a
yeah.
machine. You're a cog in a wheel, and you're treated like a machine, so you better get lubricated because Monday's coming.
Yeah, and that's just, isn't that interesting how like I was thinking one of my friends is from I mean, with this said, I love America. Like I was talking to someone and I was like, I love the vibration of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. I'm like, oh, I just get chills. It's super high vibrational. So like, I know I was born into America for a certain reason, but with that said, like, man, have we gone like, it's just like capitalism to like whatever. It's like capitalism, like we're capitalizing on hurting our citizens and making them sick, burnt out, and psychologically depressed, and then profiting from it, from the food, the drugs, and then we're shaming them like by being burnt out, and then shaming them for not, being healthy or being overweight. It's like, wait, but hold on 1 second, seed oil, like, and then also like unprocessed trauma and like insane pressure. It's like, it's so much. And I just have so much love for everyone.
Hey, Manny, can I tell you what the short answer to your question is?
Yeah.
It's small steps, one after the other, after the other, after the other. It doesn't make any difference where you start. Okay, whether that's meditation, whether it's getting with a theta healer, whether it's taking a cold freaking shower. I was just this morning. I was doing a podcast session with a lady in New Zealand, who she had watched a bunch of her friends and relatives die of chemo and radiation treatment. She had a pretty bad breast cancer, had surgery done, and said, I'm not doing chemo and radiation. You know where she
Oh,
started? She started taking cold showers, and it it
it's
opened
the
up
the
her
momentum.
mind. That was her moment, to say, oh, things can be different. And she went from there to meditation, to self-love, to changing her diet, from one thing to another to another. It's all small steps, my friend.
I think
And
so.
and it doesn't make any difference where you start. If you want to start something that'll shock the living crap out of your system, stick your face in a bowl of ice water. Do it 2 or 3 times in a row and see how long you can stick your face in there. And it won't be very long the first time you do it. And by the end of the week, you'll be holding out for like a minute. It'll blow your mind and
And
it will change your life immediately.
that is deep, deep,
Awesome.
guys. It's like, that's the deep rewiring of, those unconscious processes. That's why I love anybody who's dysregulated. And I was like the queen of overwhelm, and, like for right reason, like anyone that went through what I went through would be dysregulated. But like, it's like, I really do feel like everyone has the right or should have the opportunity to heal themselves, because surviving and just being hurt, sick, and like also maybe burnout is also your souls and your body saying, change directions, change directions. I don't think you get burnt out on something that is aligned with your values, your heart, and your energy. And so I always say, like, like, I got into theta healing because like my tools for integrative medicine, acupuncture, herbs, all of that was not doing the trick on my anxiety and my PTSD. And I was just like, okay, what's the next step? creator. And then I have no idea how I found Theta Healing, and I signed up. I was the only person in the class. And then I was like, holy shit. And then I did every class and every teacher training in like 2 years. I was like, I want this more than anything else. And also I think your health, guys, is, and I don't know what your guys' relationship with disease is, but like I literally, not being able to walk, being in pain, I'm like, I like would wake up days where I was pain free and I would just be like crying out of joy. I'm like, and also I don't, if you've worked in mental health, because I had such bad trauma and physical trauma, I would check out of my body. So I was a dissociator. I don't know, maybe I need to Trish, maybe I need to like help you to tease out a name for a book. But like, guys, like the seventh plane and going outside my body was a trip. But let me just tell you, like being fully in my body, in my root chakra, and not disassociating like a normal trauma survivor, and having like a brain like a non-trauma survivor, I'm like, damn, this is kind of cool, because so many people, especially women, I see, because we have a different response to violence. Like men have more testosterone, so they can handle it a little bit more, but not really much, guys. Our hearts and souls, unless you're the small part that are sociopaths that enjoy it, or have that, like, we want to love and be loved and live healthy and happy. And so when we see suffering, it hurts. And then if there's violence done to us, we kind of check out as a survival response. So I'm very grateful to Theta Healing because that system works, and very grateful to Viana. And then very grateful that I get to teach it to people. And I literally get to see people change physically, emotionally, new income, a person who always dates narcissist. Oh, now they're in a healthy relationship. You're like, okay, yeah, like insane. Oh,
Good.
Barack, did you have a question?
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, let me just give you some context. So I work in climate tech and climate finance, and basically modeling how many people are going to die over the next 50 years.
Wow.
Because of degradation and migration patterns and all the rest of it. So the the US-Mexican border, you've got 100 million people moving to the Midwest over the next 25 years. And that's going to cause a lot of trauma. So I'm just going to talk about the US, forget about Europe.
Yeah, I want to
and
hear this.
Africa
It's
and
so
what have you.
interesting.
Okay, so that is going to cause a lot of trauma, even more than what we have now. Politicians are just not able to handle it, as we can find out from reactions to the 2 hurricanes that have just hit the Carolinas and Florida, as it were. That's going to get worse. The US is very good at certain things, but its infrastructure is not as good as it is in Europe. So bridges, waterworks, your water quality, all the rest of it is not up there with certain parts of Europe. I can't talk about the UK where I live. It is getting worse. So using a terminology from Silicon Valley is, how can you scale what you do, what Tim does, what Trish does, what Manny's doing? You over there are gonna face many more cases of trauma, that people have not even experienced yet. Okay, that the medical system in the US and anywhere in the world is not able to cope with, because they're obviously siloed. And as Tim knows, that Tim has already explained about this, very siloed, very restrictive, very prescriptive in the terms and the language that they use. And everything's about money, everything is about pushing drugs. The problem is, within the next 5 years, the pharmaceutical companies will not be able to actually create drugs fast enough for the actual trauma that's coming. So it's about, your modalities. These are theta healing. Other people are using other types of healing modalities and what have you. Religious solutions are not going to work, okay, or they're going to get frayed, because a lot of people, go back to, religions for 2,000 years, 3,000 years, whatever. But some people who maybe don't have the actual faith that they think they do will start fraying as well. But that still doesn't help the actual question.
Nope.
So how
We
can
build
you
a new
scale?
system.
Build
How
a
do
new.
you
build it-
scale what you're doing at the moment?
We
I
build a
think-
new system.
Well, I think
Yeah.
with how I want to scale, and this is just like, cause like, the divine's like, you need to like my plan, I do one-on-one sessions, but like my plan and like what the message I've been getting is like just full blown on teaching, and also just teaching a lot of people, certifying. I mean, and I can tell you, cause like I'm coming from a pure intuitive state of mind, where it's just pure like light downloads. And what God told me to do is like there's like creator said, like, if you get like my focus, like my you know, it's like, because we're all like part of the new system, or we're all part of the light and God working on this plane. And my, like, I guess mission right now is to get a lot of people trained in a high quality manner. And so what I saw was we do virtual trainings. I definitely do, like, my my vision was to just be training the best healers, and then training enough of my healers so they can be in the virtual rooms or physical rooms. And because like there's, yeah, like, so high quality training, but getting the word out. So like my like fantasy and vision was getting this like almost as normalized as brushing your teeth, because like, you know, I don't know when teeth brushing or hand washing, you know, I forgot when that happened, but surgeons used to not wash their hands when they went from surgery to surgery and they were killing people. So I am like anchoring that this is going to be the next energetic upgrade, the next upgrade to humanity on a level. And it might take more chaos and trauma, but there are alternative pathways to get there. And I'm holding a vision of just massive contagious healing, because trauma is very contagious, violence is, but like healing is so effing contagious and powerful. But creator was saying like just do teaching. So if I can get hundreds, or like I want to, because not for like just because I've been in such dark spaces, and there's so much big and little suffering happen on this planet. And I just know that when we awaken the inner being, they are uncontrollable by an outside force. And I just feel like we need more healing, probably in power positions. So obviously I'm like calling creator, like to send or whatever. So there needs to be a full-on mass scale of healing and enlightenment in a way that like, and so I'm trying my best to do that, but also open to anything else
Sure.
that anyone else can help.
Okay,
And
so
one of the
when you were
things that-
talking and
Oh,
going
go
through the
ahead.
healing,
Mhm.
I wasn't a part of that because I was just making notes. Okay, so and you probably picked that up on your scan anyway, so that's
Mhm.
fine. And the reason I was making notes because I'm thinking, okay, can we use actual technology to broaden this? What you're
Yeah.
doing, what Trish is doing, what Tim's doing, what Manny's doing, Emily over in Vancouver. What can we do? So obviously now that we've got the AI tools to actually recreate avatars, okay, and recreate birdsong and what have you, why don't we use technology to create avatars to actually spread that across? Because Gen Z is the ones that's going to suffer the biggest,
Okay.
and as it were, we are of an age. Me and Tim are probably the oldest here. Tim, I'm a bit older than you, mate, but I've got filters on. So
I'm actually 110 years old. I just
is that
eat
right?
really
Oh,
good.
I'm
I
from
mean,
the
yeah,
Hindu.
I'm really
I'm from the
200.
Hindu tradition, so I'm supposed to be
Dr.
5,000 years
Allison,
old
we
with
look
lots of
good because we did
incarnations
beta
and stuff.
healing and we
You
did
know,
beta healing.
so I've got 5,000
We
years.
died. We got the death.
We both died and we look young AF. I'm almost
Yeah.
40. Like I'm gonna be
No, well,
40.
I'm
trauma,
41.
as
Yeah.
Dr. Snowden has said and reiterated, and Tim's reiterated, is a good trigger for healing.
What is a good trigger for healing?
Trauma can be
Oh,
a good
yeah.
healing.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
You know,
for
as it were.
sure.
Well,
So
that's why it's like, I say sometimes like waking up is painful, you know, like when you're a teenager, you're like, you know, but like, hello, you know, and I think you can wake up, I don't know if it's part of the human condition that like, you know, well, I think it's actually a part of subconscious programs. It's like being downloaded with all these things, keep
Yeah.
on going, all this fear programming. And then until you are like almost dying or, you know, like me dead, and then you reawaken to your true self. And then you're like, but guys, I have to tell you, like in theta healing, I was like, well, I had a near death experience. So like, you know, I might be further along. Oh my God. Well, actually, I was actually worse because I had so much trauma. I was so programmed. And so it was like every belief, like on any level, I love myself. No, of course not. You know, like all of this, that, you know, when violence is, you know, you know, a lot of, when violence is done, you know, you either internalize it or your body remembers it. Our body, Tim, I would like to know, you're like, I've been teaching the body with my clients who've had major trauma, because that teaching it with creator's highest definition, that it knows how to release like physical pain, because our body just wants to remember it. It is geared, and it's evolutionary geared to like,
You know why that is? I'm going to tell
Mhm.
you why this is. Okay. It's because your long-term memory is not where we think it is. Your long-term memory is actually in your DNA.
Yep.
Mm.
And it takes emotional energy to drive it in there. This is why nobody in medicine knows why an Alzheimer's patient can tell you what happened 50 years ago, but they can't tell you what they had for breakfast, even though they got egg on the corner of their face. And I can tell you why. It's because their long-term memory is stored in DNA. DNA is not junk. And 97% of the most powerful biochemical information storage system in the known freaking universe is not junk, for God's sakes. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard come out of medicine. Our long-term memory, our emotional program, our instincts is all stored in DNA. And the energy that it takes to drive that in there is emotion and intent. Okay. When we have intent and emotion, it stores that information in there. And that even though that information is stored there, we can de-energize it by taking the emotion away. It's a biochemical process. When no,
Tim,
when we
Tim, you have to come to class. Because we
listen, sweetheart, you don't understand. You're speaking my language. We've both had the same freaking download. And this is the
Wait.
information
You
that
don't
changes an entire
understand.
civilization.
Class started today.
I
We're
know.
in class. Sorry, Tim,
Yeah.
continue.
No.
This is
Listen,
like a
but this
mastermind
is
of like world takeover of light.
This is how we
listen.
do every single week. That's what I was telling you.
So let me
Literally
just
every week
let me
it's
just
different, but it's like the
take
same.
just
That
one
makes
moment
sense. It's
because I
highlighting.
need to, sorry, Trish, I just need to leave in 2 minutes. Just
Yes.
let me interject. So what
Yes.
I've got from this, Dr. Snowden and Tim and Trish and Manny, Emily, is that near-death experiences. So, you know, you've had them, you know, some people on this say, I've not had one, but I don't need to have one to actually imagine what it could be like. But look at it this way. You've had it on a personal level. Okay. Humanity is now moving towards its own near-death experience, its extinction level event.
Oh, I just got
Okay.
it. Oh,
Yeah.
Right? So what you're doing on a micro level with your teachings, with, you know, Tim's doing with his, you know, philosophy, Trish is obviously expanding it through the Healerverse as a network for people like you to connect with others. We are now moving because of climate and because of war. You know, somebody this morning said, you know, the Peace Prize went to somebody, the Hiroshima survivors, and which is with the Nobel Peace Prize, you know, today was announced.
oh,
We
really?
are
The
moving.
survivor?
Yeah. So the Nobel Peace Prize this morning was awarded to a group of Hiroshima and Nagasaki peace survivors who are now in their
Wow.
80s and 90s, who are still pushing for no nukes and what have you, which is
Wow. I went
probably
there.
one of the best things to do.
I went
So
there. It's amazing.
we are, all the climate modeling is showing me we are now moving to a near-death experience for humanity, not just for an individual person. But the only way to overcome that now is by people like yourself, Dr. Snowden, by Trish, by Tim, Manny, Emily, is to actually work on what they can do as ripples, and the ripples spread out, connect with other people, like Tim has connected with Dr. Snowden today, and what have you. And eventually you get that momentum that we have in biologics, in biology. When the cell multiplies, you get momentum until you get consciousness. And then we may see a revert back from the near-death experience. We need to have the near-death. This is the inflection point for humanity.
It
Over
is.
10,000 years, we've got to this point now.
Chris,
It-
are you going to schedule this guy for Roundtable, please?
Yeah, and like
I
I'm
love
not
that.
kidding.
I'm
I've
not a
known him for
healer. I'm
years,
not
you
a
know
healer,
that?
unfortunately. I'm not a
Healers
healer.
need-
You are though.
you are, because like healers, like
No,
healers
I'm
are,
not asking, guys.
it's like
You've got a story to tell, boss.
Yeah.
We need to hear this. Listen, no, I'm not kidding. I mean, T's got a story. I've got a story. No, Manny's got a story. You have a perspective to share with us. Chris, can you schedule him, please?
Yeah,
Yes.
maybe we can like write a collective book or something, because I kind of like the whole. I've been trying. I mean,
Oh my
fun
goodness.
is there?
Yes. Yeah.
because I was like, I don't know. I really like, I don't know. I'm very collaborative, and like I've been isolated in a hospital for like 4 years of my life, and I'm like, I don't want to write a fucking book, you know. I want to be with people, you know.
I
So
got I got to tell you something. I wrote a book in 2006 for an audience in Puerto Rico, and you cannot write. And I was using, so we use metaphors and a story, the storyline that everybody can relate to. Well, at the time, Puerto Rico was going through a massive economic crash, recession to be true. And it was actually 2 years ahead of the 2008 US recession,
wow.
right? So I was using that as the existential crisis story that everyone can relate to, and it's going to impact everyone differently. But you can't use that to the reader in New York. That book in Spanish, although the reader could be in New York, are not going to relate because they're from Ecuador and they don't relate to the Puerto Rican economic. So when I translated the book, I had to totally regurgitate the whole thing, debone the chicken and put it back together, as like we say in Puerto Rico. And so I used, for the American audience, when I wrote it in English, I used 9/11. But people in California are afraid of earthquakes. 9/11 didn't touch them as the person reading in Manhattan or New Jersey. So that was then. Now we've had the global pandemic, the global experience, and it was a total existential crisis. And now we're waiting for the next one. And then there's this thing about AI and AI and AI.
If
You
I-
I
cannot
don't think it's
fear
AI. I think
something
it's
that
the
can be such
weather,
a
brother. Like we had
Just-
130 fucking tornadoes. Was that
Yeah.
yesterday?
Yeah.
Did you see the map? Oh my God.
Gosh,
My
it's so-
entire
Well, and you know what though, like it's so interesting because like COVID, like it was so like for me, I mean, I was de-indoctrinated, you know,
Mm.
from the medical system a long time ago because of my own stuff. But with COVID, it was so interesting because as a near-death and a trauma survivor, like I like most of my life, my brain has been like, okay, like, am I gonna die? Am I gonna die? But then my soul's like, yeah, why not? You know? So it's like this kind of like weird, like mix within myself. And people are like, the future is uncertain. And I'm like, where the hell have you guys have been? You guys have like created certainty in your future. There is no certainty. Certainty is an illusion. You know, it was like everyone
So-
was having their existential crisis. They're like,
Yeah.
we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. It's like, wait, you guys used to like think that you actually were like, wow, that was a luxury I never had.
Do you mind, all of you, if I can just, this is going up from what Tim said, which is very generous of you for me to hopefully be a round table, but let me give you my credentials, if I may.
Yes.
Okay,
Wish you would.
Just by reading the opening paragraph of my book, which is finished, has gone to the agents. This is about climate, and it's called The Narrowing. So The Narrowing, if I can just read the opening chapter, and then you can let me know if it's worthwhile having a round table. If that's okay with you guys, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. And okay, so the introduction to the narrowing in humanity's next evolutionary step. The narrowing marks the beginning of a radical transformation, not just of Earth's climate systems, but of humanity itself. We are at the threshold of what many will perceive as the collapse of the world we know, driven by escalating climate crisis, infrastructural collapse, and mass migrations. But it is here, in the eye of the storm, that humanity faces an extraordinary opportunity to evolve, to adapt, and to redefine its existence on this planet. What might first appear as the end times is in reality a narrowing of possibility, a critical junction that demands a reset, forcing us to confront the unsustainable systems we've built over the millennia. And the end sentence, what will emerge from the ashes of the old world is a generation of pioneers, what I call the foundation generation. Our responsibility is monumental. We are tasked with laying the groundwork for a future where nature, human, and synthetic intelligences coexist in harmony. This requires a complete reimagining of our technologies, economic systems, and social structures. The path forward is clear. Integrate the brilliance of human innovation with the intelligence of the natural world and leverage the emergent capabilities of synthetic intelligences, including AI, to rebuild a world that can thrive in the midst of the narrowing. And we must build not just for ourselves, but for the untold generations that will follow, creating a self-sustaining, ever-expanding network of civilization.
Trish,
I
if you
love-
don't book that guy, you are not my friend.
Let's do it.
You're an,
What are you
you're
getting
an
him on your
idiot.
podcast?
So
When are you getting him on your podcast?
I'm getting him. Listen, I got to get Allison on first, and
Yes.
Bharat's right
Tim,
behind.
Did you
Yes.
text me? Did you
Yes.
text my cell now?
Oh,
Did
yeah,
you-
her
or-
number.
Yeah, can all of you guys text me?
I
Because it's
did. I did an hour ago.
Okay.
You had me at
And
hello.
Dr. Allison, Manny
Oh,
is
Oh, I
in
got you.
Orlando.
perfect. Oh, you
Yeah.
are
Yeah,
awesome.
he's for
I'm in my-
Orlando. Yeah.
So-
Unfortunately, we're not.
And Bharat, you're in. Are you-
London. I'm in London, UK.
I love London. I went to Regent's College.
Oh, right, yeah. So,
I love
uh,
London. Let's all go to
if-
London, Dr.
if
T.
that is credible enough, I mean, it obviously expands over 200 pages of what's going to happen.
Oh my
across
gosh,
the planet.
is it? Oh, but it's not published yet.
Yeah, no.
Hey, and Emily's with us.
Yeah.
Emily is
Awesome,
with us.
Emily.
Hello, I have been
Hi.
here this whole time.
Yeah.
I
So
swear.
if you guys think that's credible enough, then happy to do a roundtable and
Well, 'cause
expand on
here's the
those.
thing,
You are
I think it's
credible,
great
Bob.
Get 'em.
Everybody is.
because
This is
here's the
great.
thing is like if we can like it's a very like we're in a very like destructive like on so many different levels and like people are waking up to a lot of like whatever the destructive aspects and we really can leverage with like heart our intelligence like the divine new systems to set people up in society for creating more of like and I talk about like what I've seen energetically or psychically and it's interesting I don't know how to make this it would be interesting to understand more about AI because I just know like soul technology but what like I've been seeing is like it's like the next evolutionary upgrade like energetically for people to get this about themselves to like step into it and like be more aware and almost like more trauma means more sensitivity but then like I guess what I do that I feel like I'm really good at even within the theta healing community is I'm really good with traumatized people, which is not every theta healer. And also like helping like so a trauma doesn't happen, we can get them through it so they can give their gift. And like, I've always felt this thing of there's probably so many inventors, future blah, 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 or whatever, because everyone's born with a gift to give humanity. But if they're in their trauma, they aren't able to function to give their gift. And that like like I have like chills. And so I feel like I'm like, I know some of my clients' patients are like going to go on to do insane things, but they are internally stuck. And like, I feel like that, and then also creating more of a systemized approach. I mean, I got kicked out of integrative medicine. I got fired. So after just 2 months, because I was standing up for a patient, and I guess the doctors and the administrators didn't like that. And then they like were like, "You're fired," and I didn't even get to say like anything to my patients. I was just like taken out, and I was like, "Wow." I mean, I was like, "Wow, okay. Well, I definitely you know, because that's just my I'm always pro patient because I was one.
So
Mhm.
what you're talking about and what you have been talking about for almost 2 hours, and what Tim's doing, and obviously Trish has been doing, and Manny, I don't know your work, but I can just sense that you're doing, and Emily definitely is doing, you know, even though she's got the Rodin stinker look on at the moment, is what I call generative compassion. We've all heard of generative AI, you know, the three intelligence that we've now inherited: nature, which is divine; human, which we can access the divine, which you're already doing; and then we've created synthetic intelligence. But it's now leading it to a generative compassion, as it were, which is the next evolution of human compassion, which is a global thing. But it can only start, yeah, it can only start from the work that you've been doing, you know, with us today. And each person has their own discipline of how to access that. But generative compassion, as it connects and goes around the planet, will eventually win out. But it has to,
It
unfortunately, be
always does.
it has to, unfortunately, it can only be accessed or triggered by generative trauma, unfortunately, as it were. And we're very good at creating generative
We're
trauma.
very good at trauma.
Yeah, we're very good at trauma. We're very good
God.
at trauma. You see everything around the world, and sometimes I think, I'll just go back to bed again. But unfortunately, that's not the way it works. So anyway, listen, I've got to go
Yeah, this isn't.
because
I
it's
want to
the
take
evening on my side, and I'm sure I'm doing something stupid for the evening. So
Well,
yeah,
You're
but
not.
we can, if you text, I'm on WhatsApp
Yeah.
too, if you want to.
I'll WhatsApp you. Yeah, no, but
Yeah,
listen, if I may just say, it's been a pleasure, Dr. Snowden, if I may call you that, and
Thank you.
Dr. Trish, how are you? You know, it's been a pleasure. You know, and Dr. Tim, you're all doctors, and Dr. Manny and Dr. Emily. You know, thank you very much. And I don't mean that with any sense of sarcasm or what have you, because we're all doctors in our own age, trying to heal ourselves and then trying to look after the people around us. And then
Yay.
hopefully those ripples then go out. And, you know, I work in the hard scrabble area of private equity and finance, and, you know, most of my colleagues don't believe in any of this stuff. But I think when they're on their own, they do. They do.
That's awesome. I would love, I think just this, like, I like dream about like teaching like people in different professions, because like everyone needs that, like the opposite, what I say, trauma is disconnection from self, from spirit, from others, and from your body. And then, but like healing is connection, inner connection, outer connection with healthy relationships with nature, and like with God. So it's just like, it's all about connecting. So,
and sometimes with the finance community and the hard-headed people like the legal community, as Tim will explain, you know, it's using their language and then using their language almost and then transforming it into your language. So if I was to put a bunch of private equity guys and say, you got to listen to Dr. Snowden, they'll say, no, we're not into this higher levels and theta lane. No, I'll just say no. Do you want to be a better private equity investor? Yes.
oh yeah, intuition, because you can.
Yeah. Do you want to be able to work 20 hours a day for 6 months at a time on one deal and make that deal happen, or get something even? But how much money do you want to make? How many Ferraris do you want, as it were? I want, okay, fine. Right. Now, use what she's telling you, go through the actual process. And if you just want to use it for your own selfish needs, that's fine. But
Yeah.
what'll happen is they go through your modalities, go through Tim's podcasts and teachings and Trish's work and what have you, and Manny's work. And Emily, I still don't know what you do, but I'm sure you do something amazing. What'll happen is that their brains will start expanding because they've got new ideas in their head, instead of what I have to do, which is look at spreadsheet, cash flow forecasts. Can we screw this person over to get that deal and all the rest of it? And after you have 3 or 4 Zoom calls like that, you just think, I either need to lie down or I need to take some stimulants. But I've given up stimulants, even coffee. So it's like I need to go and smack my head against the wall for a bit and then I come back.
The cold, the ice cold.
Yeah, ice cold. Yeah, just push my face into it. Thank you, Tim. I'll use that
Well, I feel
tomorrow.
like
Just think,
too, what's
if somebody
interesting
gives me
is
any hassle on these private equity calls, I'll just say, "Excuse me, this is my bowl of water. What are you going to do with that?" Just push my head in there, and
It'll
then I think
change your
because you're
life.
boring me,
Yeah.
Anyway, I've got to go, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a
Hey,
pleasure.
real quick, Barat, quick update. We have 107,000 pre-reserved
All right.
on the Republic and 81 followers. We're
Okay,
starting
fine.
email marketing.
All
Yeah.
right, no, I